All right. Got you here for food prep. This is Sunday morning. I'm getting breakfast ready for this week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 meals right here. It's a full moon this week. So with the full moon, I take a day and I just hydrate, feel great. A little water fast and get my coffee enema in. So that's what this week looks like. And we have some sweet mini peppers here from Costco. Some organic free range eggs also here from Costco. Boursin cheese, Costco. Grass-fed butter, Costco. Tender belly bacon, Costco. Notice the no sugar, no antibiotics, no water ever, uncured. So I've been trying to do that a little bit more recently, and it's just a little bit more of a high vibration option. Got my Cutco knife here ready to cut up my peppers. I got my cast iron skillet here ready for my bacon. I'm gonna turn this on. That seems to be one of the things that takes a little longer to get ready. And then I got my skillet here for my eggs. Get that going, just low temperature, turning that one up pretty high, turning this one down pretty low. This is a green pan. This is an incredible gift I got. I love it for cooking my eggs. So we're getting started here now. Food prep, last food prep video we did was a little bit more quick. This one I've got a little bit more time. So the time's gonna go towards the bacon. The eggs take a little bit more time. And this type of meal takes a little bit more cleanup, as you will see. So I'm gonna get started cutting up the peppers, cutting up the bacon, and then we'll get that ready. So each one of these packages is 16 ounces of bacon, 1 pound. And you can see right over here, my puppy friend trying to get in on the bacon. Yeah, aloha, mahalo, just sitting back there. So with this, that'll give each meal 2.7 ounces of bacon. This will help me get a little bit of extra protein and mostly extra fat for my meal. And then I just pop it off. I like to cut it into this size of slices. Reason being is I feel like it just cooks up more quickly. So let's come on over and throw it into the cast iron skillet. Here we go. And I just like to get that on a little bit earlier in the food prep process, just because it seems like it takes a little bit longer to cook it through. And then that'll now give me time while that's cooking to cut up the peppers and then blend up the eggs and get that going. All right, so we're gonna get the peppers going. The peppers will give us a little bit of carbohydrates for this meal. It'll also give us some vitamins, some minerals. It gives us some color, and I have been working towards eating like the colors of the rainbow. And with these peppers here, I just like to cut off their tops and then set them aside real quick. And I'm gonna cut them into just some decent sized chunks. I try to cut everything to where it's bite size so that when I'm doing it and eating it, I can eat it more easily, as well as I feel like it cooks up at that level just a little bit more easily. And after I cut these tops off, I'm gonna throw them in the water, rinse them off a little bit to clean out the seeds, as well as to get anything that's on them off of them. And with these little ones, I like them because I can just thumb them open. They're ready to go. And with the bigger ones, 3 of them is usually a little bit much for my breakfast, just because how big they are. And so I usually just use 2 of them. With these little ones, I love it because I can use the different colors, and I can get more colors, and I can get more variety in what I'm doing. So I'm gonna keep washing these out, and then we'll jump back on and cut them up here in just a second. All right, just got them all washed off. You might be able to hear the bacon in the background, cleaning all the seeds up this knife here. And then I like to do them about that size, that thick with these peppers here. Get them going, throw them back on that plate with a little towel so that way they can dry out here for me a little bit. And then I'm going to let these sit aside. That's what they look like. That's the size. That's the colors. That's the bacon going. That's Aloha waiting for something to fall on the floor. And Mahalo sitting back waiting as well. All right, there's those beautiful peppers. Here's the cutting board. Starting to notice dishes are stacking up here with this type of food prep. And I'm just gonna use this towel, gently slide those babies off. They're nice and dry. That way they're ready. Throw them in here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reuse this bacon grease. I'm gonna cook these peppers and just brown them up inside of there. Give them a little bit more flavor, a little more texture, a little bit of caramelization. I'm just gonna flip these babies around a little bit, spread them out a little bit. And notice they're starting to cook up. I'm gonna bring the temperature down just a little bit here. And flip these babies over so they're ready to keep going and browning up, crisping up to add a little bit of deliciousness and flavor to this week's meal prep. You might notice that the bacon is splattering around quite a bit. You could put a lid on here, however, in my experience, that's helped very little to keep the splatter out. Just one of the things about cooking bacon. So, going back to what I was saying, this week's food prep is going to take a little bit longer because some of the ingredients take a little bit longer to cook, like the bacon, as well as there's more stuff to clean up. All right, well the bacon is going. I'm going to get the eggs ready, and each one of these eggs has about 6 grams of protein in it, roughly. And so my objective for this week's breakfast is to get right around 40 grams of protein. So if I can have 30 grams of my protein come from these eggs, that's gonna help me get close to that 40 number. The bacon is gonna give me a small amount of protein with that 2+ ounces. And so I got 6 meals, and if I have 5 eggs, that's around 30 grams of protein 6 times, or 5 times 6 grams of protein per egg. So I'm going to be 6 times 6 would be 36 eggs. I'm going to probably do 30 eggs for these meals and get that rocking and rolling, so that way I can get close to that 40 grams of protein for breakfast, knowing that some of the protein is going to come from the bacon. So here we go. And here's these wild baby foofs getting all worked up, little bacon smell going on. Coming back over here just to check on it. Getting nice and brown. Making sure that I stay on top of it, because bacon can go from nice and brown to real crispy real fast. Get back over to the eggs. All right, that's 30 eggs right here, Vitamix blender. I'm gonna add some nutritional yeast. This one's really cool. It's got some protein in it, 5 grams of protein per 2 tablespoons. That's a great amount of protein ratio. And I know some of my friends who eat less meat and animal protein love to use this. I also love to add it in to help fortify my protein number. Crushed red pepper, Costco, throwing that baby in there. And since it's so many eggs, it looks like it's a lot of it. However, there's so many eggs there, I need it. And again, my Kirkland brand garlic right here, a little flavor, dumping it in there. And for fun and deliciousness, just a little bit of this Borsian cheese. So the cheese and the nutritional yeast are gonna give what we're doing here a lot of just deliciousness for the scrambled eggs that we're about to make. So let's do this. All right, getting my butter here. I'm just gonna throw this hunk in, grass-fed butter, Kirkland. And been having this warm up, so it's getting ready to rock and roll. The butter will melt in here. I'm gonna go back over, blend up the eggs. And it's important when you use these green pans to use this type of spatula, so that way you can keep the integrity of the green pan. However, when you're using the cast iron skillet, anything goes. These things are indestructible and amazing. Bacon is getting ready, it's looking delicious, and the puppy friends are just waiting in the wings. All right, incredible. Got the cheese in there, got the eggs in there, putting the lid on there, checking in to see, make sure it's on a low thing. Sometimes people forget to turn it down, and just getting these babies going. I find this to be way easier than the way I once did it by hand. Yeast in there, crushed pepper, garlic. You can see as it mixes up that what looked like a lot was really just a little, and that's perfect. Shutting this baby off, ready to pour it in. All right, butter is melted up, pan is non-stick ready. And this particular size of pan is just about perfect for these 30 eggs. Boom, just like that. And the eggs at that low temperature will cook nice and easy. Checking in on the bacon just one more time as it gets a little bit closer to being ready to be taken off. And checking back in on our kitchen sink. Putting this one in there to join its friends. And you can start to see that this food prep is gonna have a few more dishes. It's still manageable. If I did this meal every day of the week, I'd have all of these dishes every day of the week. So I gotta just clean up all these dishes just the one time, which is one of my favorite economies of scale for doing the food prep, is the amount of time, energy, effort, and resources I share. I've yet to calculate the budget on this meal. I'll do so and let you know. Just found some of this red onion left over in the refrigerator as I was cleaning the refrigerator out, getting it ready to have space for the food prep meals. Oh, now look at the beautiful colors. The colors just keep getting better and better and better. Bacon's on point. Eggs, I'm gonna give them a little bit of love here in a few seconds. And there's my guy. There's my guys. Hey, aloha. Hey, mahalo. Hey, puppy friends. Hey, puppy friends. Love you. I love you. All right. When I'm cooking the scrambled eggs this way, I just like to pull it off the edge into the center. You can see that it's starting to cook. And I usually cook the scrambled eggs a little less than all the way through. That way, when I go to eat them, they stay moist rather than being all dried out. Just a preference. However, it's one of the tips and tricks for this food prepping that I've learned. I believe it's called par cooking. So you cook it just right before it's done. So when you reheat it, you can just take it right to that perfect spot. All right, bacon looks like it just needs a few more flips here. Stretching it out. All right, I'm gonna get the plate ready with a napkin so that way I can take this bacon out. All right, and again, that term par cook, that bacon looks mostly done. Throwing it over here so it can get ready to dry out and get put into its food prep containers. There we go. Next in, gonna throw these peppers in. Looking at reutilizing some of this oil. There's a little bit much of it, so let me take a little bit out and throw the peppers in. So we've been currently putting our bacon fat and grease in this jar here. You want to be careful when you do so, just because the jar is made out of glass, and if you put something super hot and something super cold, sometimes it seems like it gets a little bit upset and wants to break. So I heated the glass up, so that way it would be less of a shock. And then just coming on over this way, use these awesome hot mitts to hold that thing. That thing's super heavy. And now it's got the bacon fat. I can cook this up in. I turn the temperature off. The bacon grease is hot enough. And I just want to put some color and some caramelization on these babies for the flavor. So I'm gonna do that. Probably grab some greens, some leafy greens to throw in here as well to let them get a little bit cooked. So hold tight on that while we check in here on our eggs, pulling off the sides here, seeing how it's coming. And as the eggs go, I try to get everything so it finishes at a close time. These ones are at a really low temperature. Just gonna bump it up just a little bit there to help cook them. So this will all wrap up here shortly. Let's grab some greens. Earthbound Farm Organic Power Greens. Some chard, some spinach, some kale. Just grabbing it by the handful. This stuff says it's pre-washed. I take their word for it. And understanding that if I get a little of dirt inside of me, then that is good for my gut microbiome, just the diversification of different things. So throw that in there, let it melt down a little bit, and then it'll be ready to go with our eggs that are coming along. And just turn the heat up on them, so let's double check, make sure all the good stuff is happening over here. Starting to thicken up a little bit. Got a few minutes left. So as things get all cooked up, ready to rock and roll, you can easily parallel path your tasks, getting all the dishes put away as you go. So that way, after you're done, you're just ready to move on to the next adventure. Got this here. I'll hand wash those knives. Cleaned the blender out already. Coming on over here just to get the food packaging section ready to go. And like I said, one of my biggest tips and tricks is find a friend who will cook half of the meals with you and then trade. So my man Sean is cooking 6 meals for lunch. I'm cooking 6 meals for breakfast. And like I reminded you, we have the full moon coming up. So we're gonna be taking a day of fasting. Check out that beautiful sun. All right, as you can see, these look as nice and cleaned up and delicious and nutritious. All those vibrant colors of the rainbow here. Getting all of this out, putting it on its plate. So that way, when it's time to package the food prep, I'm ready to go. All right, we need to have 2 hands to get the rest of that, but let's just check in on the eggs here. You can start to see on the edges, it's getting nice. Starting to see some floaties coming in there. See if you pull it up, starting to come through. And it takes a little bit of time to get the eggs coming like this, but as soon as it starts to happen, it happens real quick. And again, just mentioning, I'm gonna par cook these babies so that way when they're reheated, they'll be cooked perfectly for each person's individual preference. So I'll check back in on those in just a minute. Awesome. Now they're starting to look like scrambled eggs. Flipping them up and over, pulling them off the sides. And you can notice how incredible this pan is with the no stick, and how by throwing a little bit of that grass-fed butter in there, helps it stay off the edges of the bottom as well. So let me get this ready and I'll take it over to our food prep area. All right, I'm gonna let everything cool down. You can see the smoke coming off of it before I put it and it's containers. Pups are still waiting for something to fall on the floor. Hold on, pups. And here it is, all cooled down, ready to go. Look at those beautiful colors, those fresh colors. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna start portioning this out, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6. So hold tight. All right, there's that. 30 eggs mixed into 6 dishes. 6 divided into 30 is 5, so roughly 5 eggs there. And when you look at the calorie of an egg, primarily 6 grams of protein times 4, 24 calories per egg times 5. That's just right around 125 calories of eggs, plus a little bit of the Bourgeon cheese. Now it's time to add the peppers and spinach. Wow, just look at those colors. This just looks delicious and nutritious. And then just grabbing the bacon. And like I was mentioning the other day, the puppies want to come in because they see me grabbing the bacon. Like I was mentioning the other day, I could measure all of this stuff out to be exact. And if I had an exact goal, then I might do that. However, right now, I'm so happy with where I'm at mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally that I just keep mastering the basics. And so this is good enough for my wants, needs, and desires. If you have a specific goal, you can get more specific and you can measure everything out. However, for me, at this juncture in my life, I am just really enjoying where I'm at. Oh, look at that. The pups are ready. The pups are ready. All right. Stay pups. Stay pups. Stay pups. Free. Oh, look how happy they are. Look how happy they are. All right, and I added it all up. And for this meal, we're under $5 a meal. I wrote my notes here. You're at $6 for eggs roughly, plus $1 extra for the extra eggs. The avocados were around $7. The bacon was the highest ticket item here, $8, but we were getting a little bit higher quality product. $5 for the peppers, we used half of them. And then $2 for the cheese, 50 cents for the spinach. Right around $5 per meal, 40 grams of protein, plus or minus right there per meal. Look how delicious those things are. And thank you, pups. This is now ready to go in the dishwasher. Total prep time was right around 60 minutes with cleanup and putting all the food together, as well as packaging and putting it all away. So have a great day. Let me know if you want some more of these videos, this content. And as always, please remember that I am and you are the answer.